Thank you for choosing Skywalker Trampolines, and welcome to the 14-foot Square Trampoline assembly video. Before assembling your trampoline, make sure you have all the parts listed in the manual. We advise having a friend help you assemble your new trampoline. Tighten all screws and bolts required for assembly with the provided screwdriver and wrench. If you have your own tools, you are more than welcome to use them. First, please register your product warranty at skywalkertrampolines.com. Grab 2 top tubes with sockets and 1 corner tube. Place the corner tube on the ground with the holes facing down. Insert the top tubes with sockets on the ends of the corner tube. Repeat this until you have all 4 corner tube sections assembled. Insert a leg post into a socket and secure with a bolt, washer, and nut. Repeat this with all of the leg posts. Find a male leg and a female leg. Insert the male leg into the female leg and secure with a bolt, washer, and nut. Repeat this until you have 4 U-shaped leg sections assembled. Take one of the U-shaped leg sections and insert it into the leg posts of a corner frame section. Make sure the holes line up and then secure with bolts, washers, and nuts. Repeat this with all 4 U-shaped leg sections. Flip the corner leg sections over. Find a middle frame tube and place them in between 2 corner leg sections. Make sure the bend is facing out. Then slide the frame sections together. Repeat this with the other 2 corner leg sections. Now, place 2 middle frame tubes in between the 2 frame halves, making sure the bend is facing out. Slide the 2 frame halves together and you will have a freestanding frame. If your enclosure net is not attached, lay the jump mat on the ground with the warning label on the top. Lay the enclosure net on top of the jump mat. Find the hole directly left of the enclosure door and the V-ring directly left of the warning label. Insert the V-ring into the hole. Then start inserting the remaining V-rings into their corresponding holes. Place the jump mat on the ground inside the frame with the enclosure net on top. Lay it so the jump mat lines up with the frame. Be sure to center the enclosure door on the middle of one side. Using the spring tool, hook the smaller end of a spring into the V-ring just left of the warning label. Stretch the spring to the nearest frame hole on the middle frame tube. Place another spring just right of the same warning label. Do the exact same thing with the other warning label on the opposite side of the trampoline. Starting with the spring you just placed, count 23 V-rings and frame holes to the right. Attach 2 springs, one at the 23rd V-ring and frame hole, and one at the 24th V-ring and frame hole. Go back to the spring you started counting from and count 23 V-rings and frame holes to the left. Attach 2 more springs. You should now have 8 springs attached. You now need to place a spring at each socket on the frame. Count 6 V-rings and frame holes away from the 2 springs in the middle of each side of the frame to make sure everything lines up. You should have 16 springs attached, 4 on each side of the frame. There are 16 connection sections on the frame. Go ahead and attach a spring on each side of the connections. You should now have 48 springs attached. Now, working in a clockwise direction, attach all of the remaining springs. Grab the spring pad and place it on the frame. Adjust the spring pad so that the slits are above the sockets. Look under the trampoline and find the straps. Position the inner straps so that one strap is threaded through a V-ring. Position the outer straps so that one strap is on each side of the frame. Now tie all of the straps in bows. Secure the corners of the spring pad to the frame by hooking the straps to the V-rings at each corner. Find the straight tubes and curved tubes and insert all of them into foam. Insert 1 straight tube into 1 curved tube, making sure the 2 holes are on top. Secure them with a self-tapping screw. Repeat this until you have 8 enclosure poles. Slide the pole caps into the strap rings found on the top of the enclosure net. Make sure the hexagonal hole is facing the net and the round hole is facing you. Now, insert an enclosure pole into a pole cap. Make sure the bend is facing away from the trampoline. Make sure the holes on the curved tube, pole cap, and strap ring are all aligned. Insert a bolt to secure everything in place. Repeat this with the remaining enclosure poles. Starting from the enclosure door, lift one of the enclosure poles and insert the straight tube into the socket. Repeat this with the remaining enclosure poles. Finally, insert the end caps into the bottom of the sockets. Congratulations on completing the assembly of your Skywalker trampoline. It may not have been the easiest thing you've ever done, but we knew you could do it. For more information, please visit our website, skywalkertrampolines.com, or follow us on social media.